Okay, got a long, rainy, trafficy drive home, so thought I'd record something. And tomorrow is the launch of our CIA, um, and I thought I would take you guys along this journey with me. Um, some are thinking, "Oh, you've already made up your mind," and I can assure you that is not the case. This is a little bit of a intellectual, social, personal exercise. But I will state again that I am partly motivated by my uh, lack of enthusiasm for American evangelicalism. So, yes, it's not just me looking out to see what else is out there in Christianity, but it's also seeing a problem with the Christianity that I grew up in and how it's evolved, you know, whatever in the last decades, or how it's fared, or in the culture wars, so to speak. And that is a factor too, and a good conversation to have. In short, on the culture wars issue, a lot of this, I mean, you could have a different starting point, but I like to start at two major challenges to traditional biblical beliefs, um, in so evolution, and that was interpreted as an attack, an assault on God and creationism, and biblical authority. Um, the attack there coming from biblical higher criticism, for example, in Germany and other theological centers like that in Europe, Western Europe. Uh, we're talking late 1900s, early 20th century. So American Christianity found itself in a real twist up there with with evolution and biblical higher criticism. Okay, and Christianity in America decided to evolve into what I think a problematic subculture and a lack of engagement in mainstream culture. It set up its own institutions, Christian colleges and Christian schools. Nothing wrong with that, but it can be motivated negatively as opposed to positively, like what we're against rather than what we're for. And it created all sorts of weird Christian culture that and stances, and I like to trace this back largely to evolution and biblical higher criticism. So where does Christianity go in the 20th century? And it largely moats itself off from society, and offers bridges in, but finds itself lacking in integration and contribution in the wider culture. So there's a lot of good work being done on those fronts, on the culture front, from Tim Keller got my attention years ago, and I really took to him. So I'm not saying that Catholicism has all the answers, or is the only big player in the game here. That's definitely not what I'm saying. But I am looking out for who's going there and wrestling with those issues and questions in regards to the culture, the sciences, taking the Bible more seriously and nuanced, taking the Bible seriously from an academic perspective, and yeah. So the only thing I'll say about RCIA starting up tomorrow for me is I don't know where it's going to go, and I do want to make that clear. I'm not I'm not telling you what's going to happen at the end of the class, whether I'll commit to the Catholic Church or not. So it's just plugging into their framework for a while and seeing the world through their eyes. And I wish that that wasn't such a that Catholicism wasn't such a foreign concept or problematic for people from a Protestant background to do the same. I would encourage people in the Protestant framework to glean from the Catholic tradition. That's a big motivating factor for me, is just gleaning from the Catholic tradition.